You are welcome, sir. Chief of Defense Forces and Senior Presidential Advisor for Special Operations, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. That round of applause is much appreciated indeed. Our DJ, give us one patriotic song as our guests assume their positions.
Tera Musa Bendera!
Thank you very much, Colonel Chris Mogezi. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to receive our dignitaries and invited guests, allow me to invite the ASAID Youth Initiative back on stage for 5 minutes. ASAID.
You've built Uganda, protected Uganda, you the best forever and ever. Father the nation, congratulations. I say, Zeye bazizanya bamuwagira olw'emirimu gy'akoze ne mumusasula Badonna bamufaananya emirimu n'enkola omutindo gwatutaddeko gutendwa n'ayita enguudo kaweredde nnyo zimwasanjala ebunyolo yazudde n'amafuta epipa ne pipa ebyenjigiriza kati mutindo makula yakutte ne ku by'obulamu biri mu njiya emyogga n'agiteekawo okugazi yefuna
Kakutola na muzeyi wasinga esho lyemanze kukunda Uganda. Kakutola na muzeyi wasinga esho lyemanze kukunda Uganda.
Katiza bajozeyo z'omuwanguzi ebirungi byakoze akigwanira abalonzi muyina okusiimibwa wakalulu alumirwa emirembe oli mumeganya kiraba meganyi olaba watuuka n'okufuntula kkoni eddembe mu Uganda yaffe lyagumye tokyawulira tutuka abayeekera eddembe lyewaleetawo omusanvu abamu tutuuka n'okupakasa ekiro tusabira abazadde b'omusanvu okuzaala omuntu aliko obusaasizi muzeeyi amosiika kutagwanira esaala eno ey'ettende ey'ejjana ne esiteeri naye mugattako katonda loogabaabo obusaasizi n'omukuumi we wakawo goyina maama jeneti esaala yemugwanira kati nsaba njozeeyo z'omuwanguzi omwagalwawo w'abakadde n'abato kati nsaba njozeeyo z'omuwanguzi.
Distinguished guests, allow me to announce the arrival of the Right Honorable Secretary General of the NRM Party, Right Honorable Richard Odong. You're welcome.
ebirungi byakoze akigwanira abalonzi muyina okusiimibwa wakalulu alumirwa emirembe
Oye oye muzeyi oye, asante sana kulinda Uganda. Tunafurahi kujenga Uganda. Oye oye muzeyi oye.
kigwanira abalonzi mulina okusiimibwa wakalolwalumirwa emirembe
Tata, you've built Uganda, protected Uganda, you'll be best forever and ever. Father the nation, congratulations. I say,
yebazizanya bamuwagira olw'emirimu gyakoze ne mumusasula batonna bamufaananya emirimu n'enkola omutindo gwatutaddeko gutendwa nayita enguudo kaweredde nnyo zimwasanjala ebunyolo yazudde n'amafuta epipa n'epipa ebyenjigiriza kati mutindo makula yakutte ne ku byobulamu biri mugiya emyoga nagitekawo kugazi yefuna
Kakutola na muzeyi wasinga, esho lyemanze kukunda Uganda. Kakutola na muzeyi wasinga, esho lyemanze kukunda Uganda.
katiza banyozeyo z'omuwanguzi ebirungi byakoze akigwanira abalonzi mulina okusiimibwa wakalolwalumirwa emirembe oli mumeka gyakiraba mekanyi olaba watuuka n'okufundula koni embe mu Uganda yaffe lyagumye tokyawulira tudduka abayegera eddembe lyewaleetawo omusambu abamu tutuuka n'okukakasa ekiro musabira abazadde b'omusambu okuzaala omuntu aliko obusaasizi muzeyi amosiika kutagwanira esaala eno ey'ettende ey'ejjana ne esiteeri naye mugattako katonda lwogabaamu obusaasizi n'obukuumi we wakaawo gw'olina maama jeneti esaala yemugwanira kati nsaba njozeeyo z'omuwanguzi omwagalwawo w'abakadde n'abato kati nsaba njozeeyo z'omuwanguzi ebirungi byakoze akigwanira abalonzi mulina okusiimibwa wakalolwalumirwa emirembe kati nsaba njozeeyo z'omuwanguzi ebirungi byakoze akigwanira abalonzi mulina okusiimibwa wakalolwalumirwa emirembe
Oye, oye, muzeyi, oye. Asante sana kulinda Uganda. Tunafurahi kujenga Uganda. Oye, oye, muzeyi, oye.
Uganda tusonga mbele, hatuwezi kurudi nyuma, tunasonga mpaka mwisho, hatuna kikomo. Uganda tusonga mbele, hatuwezi kurudi nyuma, tunasonga mpaka mwisho, hatuna kikomo. Msingi wa
Thank you very much. Our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, the event for this very auspicious occasion, historic occasion of the swearing in of our beloved President, His Excellency General Yoweri Museveni. I earlier informed you that before you is a very smart parade composed of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, the Uganda Prison Service, and the Uganda Police Force. Very smartly dressed. We have the brass band, also composed of the UPDF, police, and prisons. And the parade is under the overall command of Brigadier General John Bosco Asinguza, and the parade second in command is Colonel Stuart Agaba. We earlier witnessed the arrival of the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. We are moving on very well indeed. But something important to note is that the parade composed of the officers and men before you here will not be the only parade. It will also be joined by other arms of UPDF, and you will see that at some stage. And these other arms of UPDF are the Artillery Division, the Motorized Infantry Division, some of our UPDF and aircraft systems, the Uganda People's Defense Forces, Defense Air Forces, the Uganda People's Defense Air Forces, and also paratroopers under the Special Forces Command. That will be the full composition of the parade, and we will see all those elements at some stage. So stay tight and watch the spectacle as it unfolds. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, let me also take the opportunity to inform you that the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs and the UPDF has published a souvenir magazine for the day. It is rich in content and captures some of the history and evolution of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. Feel free to grab yourself a copy of the Taresita magazine. Our Defense Press Unit staff are around, and do not hesitate to get yourself more informed about the Uganda People's Defense Forces since its very humble beginnings in 1981 as the National Resistance Army.
I thank you, Kanamagezi. Distinguished guests, our occasion is beginning to shape. I would like to announce the arrival of the Chairperson, Electoral Commission, who shall be introducing the President-elect to the public. You're welcome, Justice Biabakama.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again we want to welcome you to the inauguration and swearing-in ceremony of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. We welcome the global audience that is joining us online and on the other platforms, the digital platforms. We welcome the national audience watching us on television and those listening to us on radio. We are coming to you from the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, and we want to welcome all of you to this very historic day to see what the Lord has done for this, our Republic of Uganda. Shortly, I will be inviting our cultural troupe, but as I do that, I want to invite you, especially those of you there in the pavilion, to enjoy the beautiful flora and fauna of Uganda, courtesy of the Uganda Tourism Board on the screen that is right next to the pavilion. We also want to welcome you to take as many pictures as you can at the various booths and of course the stands wherever we have our wildlife. We have sculptures of our wildlife that I will be mentioning later that is available in the pavilion. It looks extremely beautiful, and we want to thank the Uganda Tourism Board that is ensuring that our visiting delegates explore our beautiful country, explore Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome the Ingenzi Cultural Troupe.
allow me to announce the arrival of His Lordship the Chief Justice. His Lordship the Chief Justice, you're very welcome.
Welcome the Chief Justice of the Republic of Uganda, His Lordship, Justice Dr. Flavian Zewde. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on very well. Here with us is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Uganda, His Lordship Justice Dr. Flavian Zewde. And now that he is here, he will play the main role of conducting the President-elect through the oath of allegiance and the oath of President. So we are moving very well and all is set. We welcome all our guests. You are most welcome. All of you, our guests. All our dignitaries from here and from abroad who are now joining us here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. Ladies and gentlemen, I earlier on informed you that the parade before you is composed of officers and men of the UPDF, police and prison service. But to be clear, the term men also means that they are actually not only men, but they are also women participating in this parade. Therefore, to be clearer, the parade is composed of officers, men and women of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, the Uganda Police Force, and the Uganda Prison Service. Very, very young patriotic Ugandans who have been rehearsing very hard for this occasion and will be seeing the very best that is on offer. One of the highlights of this event this morning and afternoon without a doubt. We therefore continue to welcome Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, here at Kololo to witness the swearing in of the President-elect, His Excellency General Yoweri Museveni, for another term of office. As you know, the President-elect overwhelmingly convinced Ugandans on his vision for the future, and they responded by giving him a resounding victory of 71.65% of the vote, a landslide victory by all accounts. Our cultural performers, go ahead, you are doing a good job, continue to entertain your audience.
Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guests, once again we welcome you to this swearing-in and inauguration ceremony of His Excellency the President. We welcome our visiting delegations and we welcome you to explore Uganda while you're here. We want to recognize our religious leaders and senior party leaders of the NRM, and at an opportune time, the PS of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will be introducing the other political parties from across Africa and across the world that are represented here. We welcome the members of the diplomatic corps. We welcome our members of parliament. We welcome our cultural leaders. We welcome you, the public, members of the public who are here at the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, but also welcome you watching across the country and watching us across the world, across the various digital platforms, and listening to us across the digital radio platforms and of course the national radios. We welcome you on behalf of our Director of Ceremonies, Our Excellency the Vice President, myself, Maurice Mugisha, and Colonel Chris Magezi, led by our PS at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, will be assisting the Director of Ceremonies for this opening part of the swearing-in and inauguration ceremony. I want to welcome the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to recognize some of our senior government leaders and of course some of our distinguished guests who have joined us this morning. You're most welcome, PS.
Distinguished guests, aides of delegations, once again, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for the swearing-in and inaugural ceremony of the President-elect of the Republic of Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to proceed with presenting the milestones and/or highlights of His Excellency the President's leadership from the period 1996 to 2006. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, during the period 1996 to 2006, again under the visionary leadership of President Museveni, we witnessed the strengthening of constitutionalism, the deepening of democratic governance, the pacification of our country, the broadening of economic reforms that laid the foundation for sustained national transformation. During the same period, we saw the operationalization of the 1995 Constitution, with many institutions being set up. And Ugandans, we are facilitated for the first time in 1996 to participate in a nationwide democratic process of directly electing a president in a free, fair, and transparent process. This historic milestone marked a turning point in the country's democratic journey as a popular participation in the election of leaders was significantly enhanced at every level of governance, from the village councils all the way to the national parliament. His Excellency the President remained steadfast in the continuation of structured adjustment programs and implemented wide-ranging economic reforms aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability and stimulating sustainable growth. Of particular significance was the liberalization of the economy and privatization of government parastatals. These interventions brought competition in various sectors such as telecommunications, banking, and industries, leading to efficiencies in the economy. Within the same period, 1996-2006, and most significantly, the professionalization of the army continued, which had started with the transformation of the National Resistance Army to the Uganda People's Defense Force in accordance with the 1996 Constitution. It is also during this period that universal primary education was introduced in the country, particularly targeting Ugandans who would otherwise not afford to take their children to school. This period too marked the revival of the East African community, a process His Excellency the President spearheaded and continues to champion. Distinguished guests, allow me to note the arrival of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Right Honorable Robina Nabanja. Right Honorable, you're very welcome. Distinguished guests, I would also like to note the arrival of our former Vice President, His Excellency Edward Chiwanuka Sekandi, and His Excellency Bukenya. You're very welcome, and thank you for gracing this occasion.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vincent Bajire. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a very good morning to all of you and welcome to this day that the Lord has made for this, our Republic of Uganda. And on behalf of the Director of Ceremonies, Her Excellency the Vice President, we want to invite you to enjoy our entertainment this morning. On the stage, we're inviting the Alur Agwara Cultural Troupe, who will be entertaining us shortly. But as they do that, we want to welcome our distinguished guests our visiting heads of delegation who are here. We invite you to explore Uganda. We invite you to take a look at the screen and enjoy the flora and fauna of the Republic of Uganda.
Distinguished guests, allow me to announce the arrival of Her Excellency, the Vice President, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo Epel, who shall also be the Director of Ceremonies this afternoon. Your Excellency, you're very welcome.
Coming on stage, ladies and gentlemen, the Alur Agwara Cultural Troupe, who will be entertaining us shortly as we welcome you. Ladies and gentlemen, again we say explore Uganda. If you've missed any of our beautiful videos of the various wildlife we have in this our beautiful country, we welcome you to enjoy the videos on the screen around this entire Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. We welcome you to share the images of today with the rest of the world as Uganda celebrates this, the Inauguration Day, this, the swearing-in day of His Excellency the President. Ladies and gentlemen, the Alur Agwara Cultural Troupe. On behalf of protocol, we are requesting that either non-protocol members, if you're not a member of the media, please clear the VIP area. Security and the protocol teams, let's clear this area. Her Excellency the Vice President will be joining us and we want to clear this area. So if you're not a member of the protocol teams, if you're not a member of the media, we would request that we clear this area to allow for protocol, receive Her Excellency the Vice President when she joins us, but also to allow for the free flow of our delegates as they make their way to the tent. So on behalf of the security teams and on behalf of protocol, we request that we clear the area in front of the tent to allow for our visitors to find their seats. And again, we humbly request, if you haven't found a seat in this tent, there is an overflow tent on this side, and we request the protocol teams, in case the main tent is full, to allow for dignitaries make their way to the overflow tent on our left, on this side. Protocol, please clear this area for the Vice President and her team. We will shortly clear this area to allow for our VIPs to make their way to the sitting area, but also allow for Her Excellency the Vice President to see
We welcome you, Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, and we thank our Canadian troops for the outstanding job we've done to keep our place well in the lane. As the youth reach the stage, another thing is doing what I'm doing to put up your best performance. Please come and take the stage. We don't want to leave our audience away. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the board of chiefs, we are requesting that this stand is sold. The board of chiefs please allow our distinguished guests to make their way into their tent. This stand is full, and we request all the board of chiefs please go before our distinguished guests that they leave another tent on the side. And I have request protocol, allow for the distinguished to make their way to the other tents. This tent has been fully occupied, and I would really request that the protocol team manage that, and we continue to receive our distinguished guests. As the place is going to be running through some of our distinguished guests who arrive, Your Excellencies, heads of government and heads of states that have arrived, the delegations that are here, and of course all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We welcome you to the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on this inauguration and ceremony day. We will continue to receive our cultural troops representing us from across the country, and shortly we will be having Musangsa cultural troop representatives that allow for the place to recognize some of our distinguished guests and also share with us our transformation as a country as we continue to celebrate this Independence Day.
Thank you very much, Maurice. Distinguished guests, it is my honor to acknowledge the remarkable international presence and support at today's ceremony. We are honored to host several dignitaries, including heads of states and government, vice presidents, speakers of parliament, prime ministers, secretary of various ruling parties across Africa, ministers, secretaries from across the world, and heads of diplomatic missions across Uganda. Also joining us today are representatives from regional bodies, international organizations, and development partners. Your Excellencies, the director of ceremonies, Our Excellency the Vice President, shall introduce you at the right time. Once again, welcome and enjoy the rest of the day.
We now want to invite to the stage Musangsa cultural group who will be presenting us as we continue to receive our distinguished guests. Musangsa cultural group.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Musanyusa Cultural Troupe. As the ACU initiative takes position, we want in a very special way to recognize the heads of government and heads of state that have joined us this morning, and at an opportune time, the Director of Ceremonies, Her Excellency the Vice President, will recognize our visiting heads of state and visiting heads of government that are joining us today. We will also recognize the heads of delegation from across the continent and from across the world that have joined us to recognize this historic day here in the Republic of Uganda. To you, our visiting delegates and distinguished guests, we invite you to explore Uganda. We invite you to explore this unique, beautiful power of Africa. We invite you to continue looking at the screens across the entire Kololo Ceremonial Grounds that will highlight the flora and fauna of this, our beautiful country, as we welcome you to the power of Africa. As a youth initiative, as you take position to entertain our distinguished guests, we want to welcome the global audience joining us across the digital platforms. We want to welcome the Ugandan diaspora that are joining us. Karibu sana. We want to welcome the Ugandans across the country watching and listening across the national televisions and radio stations. Welcome. On behalf of our Director of Ceremonies, we welcome you to this swearing in and inauguration day, as I invite the ASE Youth Initiative Group to entertain us. ASE Youth Initiative. All right, over to you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the President-elect, General Yoweri Museveni, will be joining us in the next few minutes. He will be arriving and joining us here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds in the next few minutes. He will be received by High Excellency the Vice President. He will be received by High Excellency the Vice President, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the Minister in charge of the Presidency, the Head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet, the National Service Chiefs, who include the Chief of Defense Forces and Senior Presidential Advisor for Special Operations, the Inspector General of Police, the Commissioner General of Prisons. They will also be joined by the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament and the Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement. That will be the receiving party. And once His Excellency the President gets here to the parade ground, it will be all systems go and will be good to get started. All you need to do is keep firm and tight in your position and watch the proceedings as they unfold. We thank Your Excellencies, the visiting dignitaries from our brotherly countries in the region and beyond, our distinguished guests, our people here. We welcome you in your respective capacities to Kololo Ceremonial Grounds to witness the swearing-in ceremony for another term of office of President-elect His Excellency General Yoweri Museveni. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once His Excellency the President gets here, he will be received by the welcome party I earlier alluded to. His Excellency the President will proceed to the saluting dais and he will receive the presidential salute. We will have the national anthem, the East African anthem, and thereafter, His Excellency the President will go and inspect the parade for the last time in this current term of office, which stretched from 2021 to 2026. His Excellency the President and President-elect will proceed to inspect the parade for the last time in this current term of office. And after the parade inspection, His Excellency the President, Commander-in-Chief, will proceed and will be guided to his position in the very, very important person's tent, and we will witness another symbolic, highly symbolic activity of the lowering of the presidential standard flag, which will signify the end of the current term of government from 2021 to 2026. So they are very, very important thematic sub-themes in this parade of today. You will see each one of them, and may I just remind that